I just realized that I haven't properly introduced myself. My name is Crystal Shannon, and I am 22 years old. I used to play soccer. I didn't know how good it was to be part of such a crazy group until now that I'm not part of it. I can reminisce and appreciate it fully. Moms of the girls on our soccer team were extremely aggressive. Moms that are sitting on the sidelines get red carded and thrown out of the game because they were so hysterical. Like, our moms would say, "Kick her! Bring her down! Knock her down! Pégale duro!" That was part of my life. Big part of my life. Music. Probably before I could even talk. I loved getting up in front of a group of people and making them laugh. More than anything, that's what I've loved. I've loved to just look at someone and do an impression of them or do an interpretation, and it was never perfect. Never. My mom bought all the karaoke tracks for all the Disney princess songs, and I loved singing Reflection. It was a little high for me. I loved singing Part of Your World. When I turned 14, that's when music and acting, hand in hand, both came in, and I started taking them extremely seriously when I went on one of my first auditions ever. It was like this open call type of thing, and I didn't really know what I was auditioning for on a musically based show. And so what does that mean? That means any show like Glee. That's what it was mainly like. I guess it was also a little bit like Victorious, but I would mostly compare it to Glee. It was like more G version of Glee. This show was like completely the most mild version of that. Wholesome is the word. It was, luckily I was the first one hired actually after a series of auditions. Like, okay, you got it. Or like, we had a conversation. It was a really fun experience. The show was musically based. We were in the recording studio every day, and I got to work one-on-one with the producer. I got to record. So where Disney ties into all this. Our show went on for 3 or 4 seasons. I probably should know that, or maybe 5. It was based in Miami, but we flew out to LA for one of the last seasons. Water. The original song I was given was called Rebound. And in the storyline of the show, I apparently wrote it. This probably goes against any contract I signed to tell you this, but I did not write that song. It was a really fun song. It was very fun to record. There was a little rapping moment in it, which gave me
so much anxiety.
I did a rap. I broadened my horizons with that song. We got lucky enough to have gotten picked up by Radio Disney because they heard the song and just things worked out. They liked it. They played it. Actually, so once Radio Disney started playing the song, it got to the #2 spot. This story is all over the place. Once everything was in action, the show was called Hit Streak. Rooting for this song to be #1 because... So I took it upon myself to try to get it to the #1 spot. So I called in the radio station. I called in and I pretended to not be me. Because when we went to LA to film the last season of Hit Streak, we did a scripted interview. That was not a real interview. So if you ever go back and watch it, that wasn't real. I wouldn't act like that. I thought that this woman wouldn't recognize me. And we had been filming like for 2 weeks every day. That could be wrong. Called her up on the radio. There might be audio of this somewhere. I tried to disguise my voice where I still sounded like me, and she was like, "Is this Crystal from Hit Streak?" And I was like, "No, I would just like you to play Rebound, please." And she was like, "Your name?" I don't remember what name I gave. I gave a different name. She was like, "Okay." She sounded like she believed me. I listened to the radio and it played like 30 minutes later, and I heard my conversation on the radio. I'm listening to myself talk and completely embarrass myself and like say like, "No, this is not Crystal." She hung up and she was like, "Guys, that was weird. I think I just talked to Crystal from Hit Streak." And I lost it. It was a moment. You live life, you learn that plans sometimes change. I think that there was always talks between Showmobile, the app, and Disney. There was always some sort of thing going on. Like, that Disney was brought up a lot. I guess things just didn't happen the way we thought it would, and that's when things came to an end. I had just turned 17. My birthday is December 9th. I'm a Sag. I'm a fire sign in January. After like a bit of silence, too much silence. Then they called me. I honestly thought that he was going to say that the deal had been made or something. I was actually in the process of recording a second original song because of how well Rebound did. It was called Mayday. Really good. I think you would have liked it. And he told me, he was like, that's it. We're done. But we had done some really cool things. School tours, like middle schools and high school. The show ended. Sometimes your time has to end with something in order for the next door to open. And it was 3 weeks later, I left Miami and moved out to LA. And I was only supposed to be here for 5 weeks. Those 5 weeks have now become 5 years. I love LA. And I think moving out to LA was the best decision I ever made in my life. I've actually kept going with acting. I've got to work in some really cool stuff. I've gotten to meet really cool and talented people out here. The vibe is totally different. The ocean is way colder. Santa Monica Pier, that's beautiful. Malibu is insane. Glad I'm in quarantine here. I'm taking classes in college and I'm having a really good time. I'm majoring in music, so I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot of stuff. I'm filling in a lot of gaps that I had. This was a long video. I wonder how I'm gonna edit this. Alright, if you watched the whole thing, thank you. And stick around because I will be posting more things. Alright, bye.